Well, here is a look at all the coaching hires. Gerard Mayo has been pretty busy filling out his staff. So what does the rest of the NFL, how do they feel about it? Let's ask Breer what he's hearing coming off his week in Vegas. What were you hearing?
Well, when Cap asked me this question, he asked, like, oh, so what was the buzz in the Patriots in Vegas? I'm like, not much. How many people are talking about the Patriots?
Yeah, they weren't in the Super Bowl.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
I think there's a genuine what the hell are they doing curiosity going on there, because they didn't officially hire a GM. They didn't go through a head coach search. They're doing things unconventionally. And I think in a lot of ways they're still behind when it comes to staffing. And so, like, there is, I think, some curiosity over what their thinking is and how they're approaching all of this. And a lot of questions, too, on what they're going to do after the draft and whether or not that's going to include a general manager by title, whether that's Elliott Wolf or someone else.
Yeah, my understanding is they are planning on doing interviews for front office people after the draft, which is a little bit head-scratching. And it is head-scratching to people in the league that I've spoken to, because they look at it and say, so you're going to use the number 3 overall pick, and you're going to take what could be $80 million in cap space in the very near future, and you're going to use it all. You can use all those resources. Yeah. You're going to allocate them in very different ways to shape the future of this team for the next 5-8 years. And then you might bring in somebody over the top. It is confusing to people across the league, but that is my understanding. That's the plan. They're going to do interviews once the draft is come and gone. Trendy, it might be a formality, because my understanding is Elliott Wolf does have final say if it's needed. They want this to be a collaborative process, but Elliott Wolf has final say on the 53-man roster if and when that is necessary, Bert. And so maybe they just are going to go through that interview process after the draft to officially, by the end of it, make him the general manager.
I will mention, too, like, there is a success story of a team that handled it this way, and that's Buffalo. Buffalo in January of 2017 hired Sean McDermott to be their head coach. They waited until May to bring in Brandon Beane. And what that Buffalo team did, and this is not going to excite people, but what that Buffalo team did was they started to push assets back a year. So they traded Ronald Darby. They traded Sammy Watkins. They traded down in the draft, and they wound up building up the capital that allowed them to go and get Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds the next year. Now, you want to hear the downside of that? The spot they traded out of was Patrick Mahomes.
Oh. Speaking
but they wound up with Josh Allen. So
they did.
Yeah,
I mean, not a one for one trade-off.